Recently, we've been having debates about the threat level that Rox D. Xebec and Gold D. Roger posed to the world government at different times in their journey. I'm here to break down the clear gap in that threat to Emu that was faced with each of these men, and why, if he could do it all again, God Valley would have gone much differently. Roger's ambition is often undersold in the Rox debate. People frame Rox wanting to become the king of the world as inherently grander than Roger wants to find the final island, but that ignores Roger's deeper goals. Roger himself told Rayleigh in their first meeting that he wanted to turn the world upside down, which already tells us that his dream was never just about sailing solely for the sake of adventure. Roger shared another hidden dream with Whitebeard and Odin, one so Luffy is later directly tied to that same dream by Shanks. Roger was not just a man chasing an island. He was a man chasing something world-altering. Rox's ambition was to seize the world from the top down. Roger's ambition was to overturn the world itself from its foundations. Roger was stronger. As per Kaido, Roger made the world come to heel with his haki, in an era that saw the primes of the likes of the original Yonko, Garp, Sengoku, Shiki, etc. During his reign, he was the man, only rivaled in power by the world's strongest man, Whitebeard, and the hero of the Marines, Garp. Yes, you could have called the era before this Rox's, but that era didn't have the level of contemporaries that Roger's did. It had Herald, but as the narrator suggests in chapter 1167, the other legends of that time, such as Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, wouldn't reach their primes for another decade or two, i.e. Roger's era, which means Roger dominated in an era where those opponents were at their peak, and he did so in grand fashion. When every Rox pirate met their pirating end, it's Roger they thought about. Even if Rox was stronger than Roger at God Valley, which in itself is debatable, then Roger clearly became stronger than Rox over the course of his time in the Grand Line and on his way to becoming the Pirate King. Next, Roger's wealth of knowledge. Roger was able to make it to the final island, Laftel, where, as Rayleigh put it, they learned the true history of the world. Now, while Rox does seem to know much about his clan, their rightful place on the throne, the importance of Elbaf, about some specific devil fruits and the Galley Law that can assist with becoming the king of the world, he doesn't seem to know everything. Rox outright told Loki that he doesn't know who Nika is. That's such a major knowledge gap to me. Rox may have a version of the story, but he doesn't have the full scope and picture that Roger was able to uncover on Laftel. Next, influence. Roger was more influential. Roger imposed his will on just about everyone he interacted with. That charisma he carried about him is what made Odin see him in a grander light than even the great Whitebeard. It is how he fostered a crew of true, loyal, and strong followers like Rayleigh and Gaban. Unspoken attacks from Rox ended any partnership he, Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido had, while the rest of the Rox pirates quarreled amongst themselves over treasure, devil fruits, and Shaki, showing just how fragile that bond was in the first place. If that's all it took for the crew to fracture, then said crew definitely wouldn't survive an outright confrontation with the world government, no matter how strong its leader was. Roger possessed the ability to turn those around him into allies. I can't outright say this for Rox, who failed to recruit even his best friend, Herald. Now let's talk fame. Roger became the most famous person in the history of the One Piece world when he became the king of the pirates. Gold Roger